Hi, it's me, Mallory, aka Wednesday. It's Tuesday, May 17th, 2016. It's about 3 a.m. in the morning. I am on a pretty late schedule right now. Actually, my schedule's a bit all over the place, sleep schedule. Trying to figure it out right now. I figured it would be a good idea to start making video blog entries as a way to share some of my racing thoughts, a way to diffuse them while also getting practice with speaking publicly. Trying to avoid doing things like using the words we'll see how this goes. I'm thinking this will be a combination of me just sharing thoughts about stuff going on in my life while also maybe focusing on different subjects that I've been meditating on. We'll see. Hopefully, as time goes on, the journal entries will be more concise and on point. Right now, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, don't we all? One of my good friends is in the hospital right now back in Seattle, and that's pretty confusing because they were actually talking about coming to visit me. This person was talking about coming to visit me here in Michigan at like this point in time right now. And we weren't able to work out that trip because it was pretty last minute, and now they're in the hospital, so I don't even know what to think about that. Like, I guess I'm actually asking myself if I fucked up. Like, should I have worked harder to make that visit happen? If they had come here and visited here in Michigan, would they have avoided whatever ended them up in the hospital? Because that's vague. So if you know who I'm talking about and you have any idea about how they ended up in the hospital, that would be great because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person wanting to know more about that. I am here in Lansing, Michigan. I've been living here for a little over half a year. Moved here from the Northwest. It's been an interesting transition. This is my bedroom, and I'll be honest, this is where I have spent the majority of my time. Partially because it was my first winter in a long time, and that was kind of brutal. But I made it through. The winter actually wasn't too bad, but I'm not used to that extreme cold weather, the sort of weather that we experienced here during the winter. And I am struggling with fibromyalgia right now, which is a nerve condition. And when it gets cold out, I tend to stiffen up a lot more and have a harder time moving around. Fortunately, I live in an old house with old heaters that work amazingly well, at least in my room. So for the most part, it's been really warm in here all winter long, but that's part of why I've been sort of um, hibernating in my room. Also, just working out some mental processes, some stuff I'm going through, trying to make sense of stuff going on in my life. I'm sort of here starting my life over again. Um, I did partially move here to be nearer to my ex-boyfriend who isn't talking to me at all, who hasn't talked to me at all pretty much since I moved here. We broke up during the transition of me moving here. I sort of had a feeling that would happen for different reasons. I didn't take it very well though. It was a big blow to my already frail psyche, and it's been hard trying to make sense of all that. I'm doing the best I can, um, trying to do better. So I guess I was thinking about maybe trying to at least talk about twin flames some tonight, since I guess that does tie into the stuff on my mind. The person who I moved here to Michigan to be closer to is someone who I consider my to be my twin flame. But twin flames is a really interesting and complex subject. I've been meditating on it for a few years now. If you've looked into it, I'm sure you've seen that there's all sorts of different yet overlapping ideas about what that all means. I'm still figuring it out as I go myself. Um, it means so many things to me at this point, because to some extent the twin flame connection or current. Once you tap into that twin flame current, you sort of sense the twin flame energy within all things. But at the same time, there's also very specific people and events and scenarios that it seems to manifest itself in. For me in particular, my more major awakening twin flame experience included meeting with someone who I felt like I had been communicating with in my dreams since I was a kid. I used to visualize a lot as a kid and imagine that I was psychically talking to a boy and sort of remote viewing things going on in his life, but it was all, the things I viewed were all really vague. It was all symbolic imagery. It was never, well, I mean, at times I would view specific things of us hanging out doing certain things, but when I was viewing him, the imagery was usually more vague. But these dreams and visualizations went on for years. And in my teens, I sort of, my teenage years, around the age of 16 or so, I sort of disengaged with the visualizations because I felt like I needed to grow up and focus on more mature things at the time. But really, deep down inside, I never let go of the idea that that person that I was visualizing and dreaming of was real. They always felt really real to me. And even when I finally decided that I was going to stop visualizing and thinking of them, I sort of took some time to visualize them and let them know that in my waking day-to-day life, I would always be looking for them. And if I found them, if I ever found them in the real world, that I would be sure to do everything I could to make myself known to them. So fast forward to me being about, oh, let's say 29 years old, was going through a major life crisis. I was actually breaking up with the person who's in the hospital right now in a coma. That was back in 2012. I had been in a relationship with this person for 6 years, and in 2012 we broke up, and a lot of other huge things happened in my life. I made huge career shifts, just all sorts of personal identity shifts. Went through sort of a psychological breakdown and breakthrough, and during this time, visions of this person I had dreamt of as a child kept creeping up again, and I decided to dedicate a year of my life to an initiatory scenario where one of the main tasks of that scenario was to see if I could find this person in waking life. And in assigning this ritual to myself, I knew that I might possibly not meet this person that I was looking for, that could be an option, but that was sort of why I was doing a ritual, because I wanted to find if this person was really out there, because they still felt so real to me if they're just a figment of my imagination. And either way, I figured it would be something neat to learn from and write about. So I dedicated myself to a 1 year initiatory um, ritual. The ritual was for different things that I won't get into too much right now, but one of the main things it was for was finding this person. And so I dedicated myself to that ritual on my 29th birthday. And the day after my 30th birthday, I walked out of the abyss, and that man was there, the man I was looking for. Practically pooped my pants. Well, to be honest, I didn't practically poop my pants because it was one of those situations that when we first met each other, it was like, you seem really familiar. Why is it that you seem familiar? And it took a while for it to sink in fully for it to sink in for both of us, what it all meant, why it was that we seemed familiar to each other, and we ended up being in a relationship that lasted a little over a year, which I know isn't the longest time, but it feels like eternity because during that time, we shared eternity together. We shared the cosmos and discussed eternity and the cosmos and discussed the idea of having known each other for many lifetimes. And, some people might say when it comes to, like, the idea of reincarnating soulmates, like, why would you want to relive the same scenarios with the same soulmate over and over again. It's true. Why would you want to live those scenarios? But I found with karma, that's not really exactly how it works. Karma, it's an ongoing thing that builds up. It builds up with endless lifetime. And if you believe in reincarnation, there's this idea that your karma sort of like evolves and builds up over lifetimes. And so, if you're dealing with karma with a certain person or group of people, that karma evolves over lifetimes as well, not just your personal karma, and it ebbs and flows. So like for me, I would say like with the example of with my twin flame, I recall us spending many lifetimes together, but I also recall us spending many lifetimes not together at all. And the lifetimes we did spend together, it seems like we are learning and growing and moving towards something that we haven't quite achieved yet. We seem to get farther as we move along, and it seems more recently we're getting really close to achieving something. And I think this is the case not just for me, but for other twin flames in general. We've been evolving together for many lifetimes, and a reason a lot of twin flames are awakening right now is because we're getting close to achieving something great that we've all been working towards. And like in the example with my twin flame that I've been talking about, like I recall possibly spending a very recent past life with him. And that more recent past life, there seems to be a lot of stuff that happened in that life that is echoing in this life. And that kind of sucks. Yeah, that's super annoying for different reasons. It's kind of frustrating having to deal with those things all over again. But actually, part of the reason I'm able to cope with the stuff going on in this life is because I'm learning from the way my past life coped and dealt with it. I'm learning from her, my past life version of myself that was in this relationship with this person. So, yeah, that's been interesting. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm at a separation phase with my twin flame. A separation phase with my twin flame, which is really common. Lots of twin flames go through separations. A lot of times they would have what they call a runner and a chaser, and I think it might be safe to say that in this case, I'm the chaser, unfortunately. It's compulsive. It's hard when you're that energetically connected to someone and they suddenly go like this. It's hard not to want to chase after them. Even as I ground and center myself, I constantly find I have times where I feel jerk towards them, but I'm working on getting past all that and trying to heal myself and heal from my traumas for my own sake, but also hopefully for the sake of my twin. But now there's the case of my other twins and what the twin flame current means in general. Part of the reason I believe my twin flame was taken away from me is because it was part of what has shown me personally what true suffering is, and I feel selfish saying that because I know my suffering is minimal in comparison to what a lot of other people are experiencing. Like, for example, the family of my friend who's in the hospital right now. I can only imagine what they're going through, what I'm going through, knowing he is in the hospital and might never not wake up is intense right now. My own emotions and feelings towards that is intense, but my connection to him is a lot different than his blood family. I can only imagine what they might be going through right now. So my prayers go out to them, and so again, talking about what the twin flame vibe and current possibly means in general. Um, well, to me, having my twin taken away from me basically has presented me with my greatest fears, and it's showing me how to move past my greatest fears. And it might sound silly, but yeah, I guess it turns out my greatest fears are um, partially being alone, but not even really so much being alone, but being without my twin. This one in particular. not having access to him in my life is the most excruciating thing I've ever known, partially because our psychic communication has always been so intense and on point that now that he's not here, it's hard to make sense of it all. But I think that's, again, also one of the things that's um, part of what the whole experience means is, one, it's teaching me how to psychically communicate more efficiently. And I know that might seem silly considering, like, right now I'm saying that, like, I feel like my twin flame talks to me in my head, and it's slightly confusing because he's not in my life at all right now. But it teaches me how to sort of like temper and harness that communication, and maybe if I'm lucky someday I'll be able to verify some of that communication with him, but I know that there's a good chance my twin flame may never come back into my life within this lifetime. I do believe that even if we don't reconnect again within this lifetime, we will connect again in other lifetimes, and that's part of how I'm able to cope and move on. But that's, again, another one of the things that the twin flame current vibe has taught me, unconditional love, how to think beyond myself and beyond this lifetime, like the fact that I'm partially able to say goodbye to someone because I feel confident I'll see them in another life. Like, that might sound crazy to people, some people, but for me, it's sort of a big thing. And to also realize that to have to face my fear of losing him, to be like, to be moving past that is a big deal for me. But also realizing that, like, if I really love this person, that letting them go should be ultimately what I want for them, and it is, because, love doesn't really have much room for possession. This person is an object. I can't continue to cling to them. If they want to go be free and have nothing to do with me, like, so be it. Like, I love them, and they should do what makes them happy, and I'm happy they're doing what makes them happy. I'm just still currently dealing with my own pain, confusion, and frustration with it all, which I'm working through. But also, one of the amazing things about the twin flame current is that it serves as a reflection, a mirror of sorts. Your twin flame or twin flames tend to mirror you and serve as tools or opportunities. I don't want to call them tools, opportunities for growth and expansion. One of the things that seems to stand out about twin flame relationships is that these people will have qualities that mirror yours, in the sense that they'll have qualities that will complement your qualities very well. And so you'll be able to see yourself in them. And some of your qualities are the exact opposite of each other, and you'll be able to see that in each other as well. See the parts of yourself that you haven't really shed any light on. So essentially, your twin flame reflects your shadow back to you, and the light uh, portions of yourself to the more illuminated portions. It reflects your shadow and your illuminated parts of yourself back at you, the good and the bad. And so you kind of get to look at this person who's a mirror of you. And that probably sounds really lame. Like, why would you want to date your twin? Why would you want to date a mirror reflection of you? But they tend to be so much like you, but so unlike you too, that the combination is of that energy is just mind blowing. You end up having just so much together, things that you share in common that just help you click into place, and then the things that you don't have in common, you just end up learning so much from each other from those things, and it sets you both up to grow really quickly. And a lot of times when you meet your twin flame, they're there to help you explore and heal from trauma in this life and in past lives. And like I said, I had been communicating with my more recent past life, and learning how to cope with the trauma of this life by observing how she coped with the trauma of that life. And I feel that this communication actually that I'm perceiving from this past life, it's a two-way thing that she actually my past life self has memories of communicating with my future self, and that me communicating with her is helping her deal with her processes and her things. So my past life self is essentially my best bud, and part of the reason I was able to connect with her was because of my twin flame. Because as he came into my life, we both had individual memories of our past lives, but as we started sharing memories together more and more, those memories started to awaken and click into place. And recalling past lives is kind of like putting a puzzle together. You'll get little puzzle pieces here and there, and you'll see these little images on these puzzle pieces, and it will look like one thing one moment. But as you add to the puzzle and the picture expands, you'll start to see that there's a lot more. But again, back to twin flames. Sorry, don't want to get too off track. I mean, it's all twin flame related, but one of the greatest things is that they reflect your good and bad qualities back at you, and they are someone who you end up having a lot in common with, but also a lot of opposite things in common with, so that you really can learn and grow from each other and also have a badass, awesome time. Like, for example, I identify as being a dragon, and I love to write. And my twin flame, he identifies as a phoenix, and he loves to paint and draw. And we both love comics and stuff like that, and cheesy sci-fi, and whatever. I'm not gonna get into all that, but him being a phoenix and me being a dragon, we were pretty awesome together, and our artistic qualities tended to really complement each other. We both really loved each other's art and complimented each other's art and encouraged each other's art a lot, and we grew a lot together. I grew a lot because of my twin flame. That's probably the biggest part about why it's been hard for me to let him go. I'm okay with saying goodbye to him. I never got a chance to say goodbye, and so it's hard for me to understand how someone who I grew with and who I trusted is gone now, and I didn't even get to really say goodbye to them. But I'm dealing as best as I can, and in dealing, I've found that I have many twin flames. I meet new twin flames on a regular basis. Sometimes I'll be having a twin flame connection with someone, and as we've kind of learned and grown from that connection, our friendship will remain, but the twin flame connection will move on. It all ebbs and flows. It all kind of depends. But I know that there's several people right now who I feel a twin flame connection with. There are people who I sense possibly having past life friendships, relationships, connections with. I sense that I'm doing some sort of work with them that's been evolving over lifetimes, and they also tend to reflect me in different ways, like reflect qualities back at myself that are similar to mine and that are opposite of mine, and that help me learn and grow a lot. And it's pretty awesome. Your twin can be anyone, really, and you can have many twin flames. I just found that in my case, that my original twin flame type experience tended to awaken me to the experience of connecting with all people in all moments in a twin um, flame kind of way, because I guess ultimately you are your own twin flame. It's more about getting to know your spirit and your place within the cosmos and understanding things like unconditional love and understanding how you're connected to all things and how in some ways love makes everything okay, which sounds cheesy, but it's kind of true when it comes down to it. Because I mean, as long as you love yourself, as long as you can forgive, you're okay. And even if you don't love yourself and you're not at a place to forgive, that's okay, because chances are there's someone out there loving you, waiting for you to be ready to do those things. Got me. I'm your friend, everyone. If you're watching this video, I will do my best to be a good friend to you. But yeah, twin flame stuff. I guess it's more about growth, expansion, unconditional love, evolution, and just feeling your connection within the universe and feeling your connection in relation to all things and just doing your path, being yourself, integrating yourself, integrating the world around you in a healthy way. And yeah, and love, 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 love. I guess that's all I got to say about that for now. I'm 25 minutes into this. I don't know if anyone will even watch it. I love you all. Bye.